The wealth rule. Most people learn too late. If you ask most people what they would do differently financially, the answers are usually similar. I would have saved more. I would have started investing earlier. I would have avoided certain purchases. I would have taken money more seriously. And while all of those answers are important, they usually point toward a deeper realization. A realization many people don't discover until years later, sometimes decades later. A wealth rule so powerful that understanding it early can completely change the direction of a financial life. Yet most people only learn it after making countless mistakes, after wasting years, after missing opportunities, after watching time pass. And the rule is surprisingly simple. The amount of money you keep is often more important than the amount of money you earn. At first, that sounds wrong, maybe even impossible. After all, how could keeping money matter more than earning money? But once you understand this rule, you start seeing money differently. You start seeing wealth differently. And you start understanding why some people become financially free while others spend their entire lives chasing more income. Let's break it down. Part 1. The Great Income Illusion. From a young age, people are taught something very specific. Earn more money. Get a better job. Increase your salary. Climb the ladder. Work harder. Make more. And while earning more income can absolutely improve life, there is a hidden problem. Income alone does not create wealth, because income can disappear immediately. A paycheck arrives, bills take a portion, taxes take a portion, lifestyle takes a portion, debt takes a portion, subscriptions take a portion, entertainment takes a portion, and before long, the paycheck is gone. This is why there are people earning impressive incomes who still feel financially trapped. The money comes in, but very little stays, and wealth is built from what stays, not what passes through. Part 2. The difference between earning and keeping. Imagine two people. Person A earns $60,000 per year. Person B earns $120,000 per year. Most people instantly assume person B will become wealthier. But that's not always true, because the real question isn't how much do they earn. The real question is, how much do they keep? If person A saves and invests consistently while person B spends almost everything, the outcome can be very surprising. Because wealth isn't determined by income alone. It's determined by the gap between income and spending. That gap is where wealth lives. And many people spend years focusing on increasing income while completely ignoring the gap. Part 3. The Trap of Lifestyle Expansion. One of the biggest reasons people learn this rule too late is lifestyle inflation. Income increases, and spending increases right alongside it. A raise arrives, expenses increase. A bonus arrives, new obligations appear, and suddenly, the person earning more money isn't actually building more wealth. They're simply financing a more expensive lifestyle. This cycle can continue for decades. And that's why some high earners remain financially stressed despite making more money than ever before. The income grew, but the wealth never had a chance to grow. Part 4. The Power of Small Gaps. Here's something most people underestimate. Small financial gaps become enormous over time. Imagine someone consistently keeps a portion of every paycheck. Not a huge amount, just a portion. Month after month, year after year. At first, the progress seems small, almost invisible. But eventually, something powerful begins happening. The money starts working. Investments grow. Returns generate additional returns. Assets begin producing more assets. And the gap starts compounding. This is where wealth building becomes interesting. Not because income changed, because behavior changed. Part 5. Why time matters more than people think. When people are young, time feels endless. Retirement feels distant. The future feels far away. And because of that, many financial decisions seem harmless. A little extra spending, a little less saving, a few years of delay, no big deal. But wealth building is heavily influenced by time, and time cannot be replaced. Lost money can potentially be earned again. Lost time cannot. That's why people who discover this wealth rule later often have the same reaction. I wish I had started sooner. Not because they needed perfection, because they finally understand how powerful time really is. Part 6. The ownership shift. Eventually, financially successful people experience a mindset change. They stop asking, "What can I buy?" and start asking, "What can I own?" That's a massive difference. Consumers focus primarily on purchases. Builders focus primarily on ownership. Ownership creates opportunities. Ownership creates leverage. Ownership creates growth. And over time, ownership creates freedom. This is one reason wealthy people often appear obsessed with assets. Because assets have the potential to continue producing value long after the initial purchase. Part 7. The hidden cost of looking successful. Many people spend years trying to appear successful. The nicer car, the luxury items, the upgrades, the image, the lifestyle. And there's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying money. The problem is when appearance becomes more important than progress. Because appearances often require spending, wealth usually requires keeping. And those goals frequently compete with each other. This is why some people look wealthy while quietly struggling financially. And why some genuinely wealthy people look surprisingly ordinary. One focused on appearance, the other focused on accumulation. Part 8. The rule that changes everything. At some point, successful wealth builders understand a simple truth. Every dollar has a choice. It can be consumed, or it can be invested. It can create temporary pleasure or future freedom. It can disappear or potentially grow. And once someone starts viewing money through that lens, financial decisions begin changing naturally. Because they stop seeing money only as spending power, they begin seeing it as opportunity. Part 9. Why most people learn this too late. The reason this rule is learned late is because its consequences are invisible in the beginning. Spending doesn't seem dangerous. Lifestyle upgrades don't seem expensive. Delaying investing doesn't seem important. Everything feels manageable. For years, sometimes decades. Then one day, people look back and realize something. The small decisions were never small. They were simply delayed. The consequences arrived later, and by then, a lot of time had passed. Part 10. The Real Secret of Wealth. The real secret isn't earning the biggest paycheck. The real secret isn't finding the perfect investment. The real secret isn't predicting markets. It's creating a system where part of every dollar stays under your control. A system where wealth is built intentionally, not accidentally. A system where money has the opportunity to grow instead of constantly disappearing. Because wealth is not built by how much money touches your hands. It's built by how much money remains working for your future. Final thought. The wealth rule most people learn too late is simple. Keeping money is often more important than earning money. Because income creates opportunity. But what you keep determines outcomes. And over a lifetime, the people who build real wealth are often not the people who earned the most. They're the people who consistently protected the gap between income and spending. They saved it, invested it, owned assets with it, and allowed time to do what it does best: compound. That's why so many people eventually reach the same conclusion. The biggest financial breakthrough wasn't learning how to earn more. It was learning how to keep more. And by the time many people discover that lesson, they wish they had learned it years earlier.